Hello everyone, and welcome to another vlog. As you can see behind me, I'm at Universal Studios Hollywood in California, and they are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the studio tour.
Alright, so into Universal Studios we go, and right away you see they have the 60th anniversary of the studio tour.
It's kitschy, it's fun, it's such a tradition at Universal Studios, so I'm glad they're celebrating the 60th anniversary of it. We'll take a look at the tour itself, see if there's any cool memorabilia related to the 60th anniversary of the studio tour, and see what they've changed on the tour. So come along with me and we'll go inside.
And then here it is at the main gate as well. They have this celebrating 60 years with the retro throwback studio tour glamour tram, and then various parts of the studio tour just below that. So very much a focus of Universal Studios, the 60th anniversary of the studio tour. Let's go ahead and head in.
Alright, so I was told for my annual pass I could actually get a 60th anniversary studio tour magnet. So we're going to check that out first and see if that's the case. So into the studio store we go. Alright, pretty cool magnet. It's been secured. Onto the studio tour.
Alright, into the classic studio tour we go. And of course they have more of the branding for the studio tour 60th anniversary throughout, leading up to it. And of course you can see the San Fernando Valley below. There's Warner Brothers down there on the left. But this is pretty cool. Up here they have a mural with the various features of the studio tour. They've got the various types of trams they've had, and then King Kong, action scenes, stunts, fire, earthquake, oh my, everything included here from the studio tour through the years. It's a pretty cool little mural. We'll go ahead and head down. And it's pretty cool. They actually have the glamour tram as part of the tour now. And I'm in one of those as we speak. While the tour guide also speaks, so here we go.
Introduce us to our actual studio tour is my master of ceremonies. You recognize him, of course, from Saturday Night Live. He's also the host of The Tonight Show on NBC. Everybody wave hello to Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination could take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
Or what?
you'll see on the studio tour.
Miles per hour. And with that, everyone, welcome to Courthouse Square, also known as Hill Valley, California, for both 1985, 1955, and the distant future of 2015. And here, front and center on the left-hand side, is the Pinnacle Time Machine that took Marty McFly back from 1955, 88 miles, to get back into the future by harnessing a bolt of lightning from the clock tower. And here is Leah Thompson from Back to the Future to tell you a little bit more.
Great Scott, it's time to go back to the future. This famous line, along with, "Isn't he a dreamboat?" were uttered right here at Courthouse Square, aka Hill Valley, from 1985's Back to the Future.
And they added a DeLorean to this section, which is a pretty cool little reference to Back to the Future.
Long before my son ever saved the clock tower. And glamour trams have been passing by this same set since 1964. Take a look at.
And now, everyone, we're going to take you from the West Coast in Hill Valley, California, to the East Coast into a big city. Our next stop on the map is going to be New York Street, the longest stretch of road that we have for a set. This is basically part of every single big stunt show like that you've ever seen. In fact, this entire stretch of road was where they held the semifinals for American Ninja Warrior. But before it was ever that, it was home to one big celebrity, and we need another celebrity to introduce him. Here you might know him from Kung Fu Panda 4 and School of Rock is Jack Black.
And self-action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home to Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008.
I do miss the animatronic King Kong that they used to have here. It was actually pretty cool. It was huge. They had the helicopters going by. It was a fun sort of effect that they had. It was a cool part of the tour, and I'm sad it's gone. But one interesting fact is Bob Gurr, the legendary Disney Imagineer who designed the monorail and Autopia and basically a bunch of Disneyland ride vehicles, helped with the design for the King Kong animatronic attraction. So nice little Bob Gurr reference here as well.
He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath. Is that it? Can't believe that's my last line, and then tram moves on to the next thing.
Indeed it does, Jack Black. So, basically, I'm a big fan of superhero movies. Again, this very same street that we're driving down, this is where Captain America was basically pursuing a Hydra agent. So this is where Steve Rogers, he just gets the super soldier serum played by Chris Evans, and he's just hauling it right down here in 40s Brooklyn, right here. If you go ahead and take a look on your left, too, from another superhero, Spider-Man 2, that theater was used for MJ's performance of The Importance of Being Earnest. And basically, Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker was so late to the theater, by the time he had gotten there, hundreds of guests were leaving the theater. So if you go back and watch that movie, you'll definitely see that theater. Now, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be actually making our way out of the concrete jungle and into an actual jungle. Earlier we talked about the original King Kong that resided here in Immense. Basically, the star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance to part the waters for our guests, and Glamour Tram seemed to drive right through the lake to give everyone on board a sea-level view. That also had pop submarines, torpedoes, and water missiles.
Yeah, so like the tour guide was saying, back in the day, the tram used to go through the lake and would have this effect where you would have water essentially on either side of you within the tram, and it looked like, you know, you were in the middle of a parting body of water. And I remember this mainly as the Kong Skull Island thing that they did, where they had some props from the King Kong movie with Peter Jackson, and then they still did the parting water. But they've since got rid of all of these effects, and the lake is what you see now, just a general lake with a fountain.
That train is overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water. It's part of the tour.
Tristan Eaton, and it's a beautiful commemorative homage to some of our most iconic Universal monsters. From right to left, you're going to see this mural commemorating the Wolfman, the Gill Man from the creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, and Dracula. These are all
pretty well done mural of the Universal monsters.
Made by artist Tristan Eaton as a beautiful homage to those iconic movies that really made us kind of iconic here at Universal Studios. But as you can see, there's a lot of business going on. We usually have a lot of filming going on during the week, so y'all came on a really good time. Currently in its 26th season is NBC's The Voice. They're currently filming right over there at Soundstage 30. But as we move forward, I do want to mention, again, we're going to be in our backlot for the rest of our tour. So we're going to show you around, show you all of the incredible sets that we have just waiting to be used on any given day here. Of course, we've already passed by our Metropolitan sets, but we do have all different kinds of exterior sets here that are just waiting to be used for any genre here at Universal Studios. So coming up on your right-hand side, you're actually going to see that we're going to be entering our Western sets in just a few moments. You're going to see a little bit of construction going on actually right here in what we like to call a facade. So a facade is any kind of exterior that doesn't have an interior. So right here on your right hand side on this corner, that's an example of a facade. But a lot of these sets that we're going to be passing by are called practical sets. So we are able to film both inside and outside almost every other building that you see here. But we do like to call this area here 6 points. In the early years in Hollywood, a lot of our movies here were silent movies. So we would actually invite guests to come in for only about 25 cents. And we would build bleachers. We would set them up all around here, and we would invite these guests to come in, sit in, and watch active filming right in front of their eyes. And because of the fact that a lot of these movies back in the day were silent movies, we were able to film 6 different movies all at the same time without any interruptions right here on the street that we're on right now. And recently, you can see our 6 points used in the 2019 movie, The Knife, film by Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Miss Barbie herself, Margot Robbie. But moving away from 6 points, we're also going to be entering our Old Mexico sets. So as we enter our Old Mexico sets, you'll be able to see the shift in architectural design here. So it is really essential that we collaborate with our production designers, our set sets used in the Judas music video by Lady Gaga. You can also see it in a few sequences in Nacho Libre starring Jack Black. We also used a little bit of this area here for the Three Amigos, and we also transformed it into a wedding scene for What's Love Got to Do With It, starring Academy Award nominee Angela Bassett. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of a U-turn here, everybody, and as we do, you're going to get another nice view of our old Mexico sets and our 6 points. So once we do, I want you to take note of some of the door frames here in this area. You might notice that some of them kind of change at different size, and that's not a coincidence at all. This is actually part of a little illusion, a little movie magic trick that you can actually see used in our Metropolitan sets as well. In our Metro sets, sometimes we change the size of our windows, the taller that those windows go, to give off the illusion that those buildings are a lot taller than they actually are in real life. And we kind of use that illusion right here in our beautiful 6 points and our old Mexico sets as well. Back in the day, some of these larger-than-life cowboys were played by actors who were a little on the shorter side. So in order to give off the illusion that those cowboys were a lot taller than they actually were in real life, we would change, modify, and minimize the size of our door frames to make those cowboy actors look a lot larger than life on the big screen. So for all of you short kings out there, I see a few of you out there, do not be ashamed.
Solidarity.
So, you know, you're not alone. Do not worry.
They have a couple shout-outs to the 60th anniversary on the tour. There's a sign that was quickly shown there in 6 Points, Texas, and they have another sign here at the Jaws section, which today is currently being worked on. So, not running. There's the shark out of the water, but going past it. Well, while the Jaws area is closed this time, and that bites, we'll take a look at some of the history of the Jaws mini attraction as part of the Tram Tour, which has been a part of the Universal Tram Tour since shortly after Jaws released. In fact, Universal wanted to capture, some of the attention Jaws was getting, especially at the time. It was just a huge box office smash. So they decided to make a mini attraction as part of the tour, and actually it was in a lake that was near the Psycho House originally. You can see the Psycho House on that hill up there. And so they kind of added the attraction there at first, and then there's the shark you see very close to the Psycho House. And this entire lake in this area is now gone, and they've, since changed it to where the War of the Worlds section is that you'll see in a little bit. But they did create an Amity Island recreation that has been in place ever since for quite a while now at Universal Studios. And way back in the day, they even had these like changing stations. And I remember they had this guy George from going on tours as a kid, the fisherman George, and he was attacked by the shark. They've since updated it where an Amity Island police officer, like scuba diver, is now attacked. But I do remember that throwback to George, so it's currently what you see. But again, it's being maintained at the moment for this tour.
Now, of course, this is also where we filmed The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is now celebrating its 70th anniversary here at Universal Studios. And a lot of those iconic monster movies actually had their humble beginnings right here in the next part of our studio tour, entering our Little Europe sets. So as we round this corner in just a few moments, as we enter Little Europe, take a look around at all of the beautiful architecture here. Even these cobblestone streets that we're going to drive on in just a few moments, they accommodate for any faraway European location, country, city, or village that we might want to film at. So lots of times it's really immersive. It's really all about the sets here. And it's about really being able to immerse our audiences, allowing us to kind of travel to any place in the world, real or imaginary. And very recently, of course, we were able to transform our Little Europe sets into the afterlife for all 4 seasons for one of my favorite TV shows, The Good Place.
Going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
You want to know what is awesome? Remember when I was telling you that Universal Studios is a rental facility? Here in Little Europe, a lot of Disney projects have filmed. In fact, this street that we're driving now, this is the streets of Genovia from Disney's Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. And if you're a fan of musicals like I am as well, they filmed Disney's Presents Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella coming up on your right side in our Court of Miracles. That was originally named after the Miracle Man with Lon Chaney. But this is where the prince was giving a ball. So that was with Brandy, Whoopi Goldberg, Whitney Houston, Bernadette Peters. Again, personally, my favorite iteration of Cinderella in my humble opinion. But these will always be known as Transylvania for Dracula, Austria for Frankenstein, Wales for the Wolfman, and the Invisible Man. Make sure to pull that.
They've redone the earthquake ride aspect, so we're about to go in there.
And again, that will be for either medical or non-medical emergencies. Now, what's really cool, yeah, it looks like they left a lot of their stations going. There's the art director station over there on the left. Oh, over here we have the director's chair. Pause on some playback, it looks like. Down here we have hair and makeup on the left-hand side. Looks like they forgot to turn off their makeup station lights, but that's no problem here. So it looks like this metro station is currently being set in San Francisco. Looks like if you look on your right-hand side, you will see Welcome for San Francisco. There's some metro maps that are decorated. This is, sorry about that, everyone. Welcome to California. We are prone to earthquakes. Okay. Everyone, please remain seated. This will be fine. Oh no, the roof is caving in. Watch out for the truck. Uh-oh. Those sparks aren't good. And now the set is on fire. Oh geez, the electric panel is open. That's not good. What is that noise? Just reopened this spring for our 60th anniversary with a complete Hollywood makeover, updating all the props and movie-making equipment and bringing the set into the 21st century. This fair attraction was inspired by the disaster classic Earthquake. The movie Earthquake will basically celebrate its 50th anniversary.
I remember them mentioning before that this Chicken Ranch house is original to the Universal property when it was first purchased. It was an actual chicken ranch, and the house itself has survived and been used in many movies.
Now, they're not the original gates, but they actually were built for the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future, and actually they were funded and pulled together and constructed by fans of Back to the Future.
Used to the movie for about 4 minutes in its entire runtime.
And here's a full view of the retro glamour tram that they've recreated for the tour. In all of its glamour tram glory.
60th anniversary here, the Hollywood sign. has actually been commemorating its centennial year. So our version of the sign is a scale model. So the letters on your right are 10 feet tall, while the original letters stand at 45 feet tall. And for the first few decades of the studio tour, one of our hallmarks was a visit to Prop Plaza, where guests disembarked for once-in-a-lifetime photos and to interact with characters, vehicles, and props from their favorite productions. Well, guess what, everybody? For our 60th anniversary, we have brought that opportunity back. So coming up here on your left-hand side is a little drop-off zone. You'll be able to interact with some of our props from over the years. Now remember, this is a limited stop, so when you're ready to continue your tour, simply follow the signs. You'll be boarding a different tram with a brand new studio tour guide. So remember to gather all your personal belongings and your 3D glasses. You'll need them when we resume the tour. As you disembark, please walk toward the front of the tram and have fun. Of course, you won't be seeing me anymore. Everybody say, "Aw, aw." It's okay, everybody. Had a great time.
Yeah, so pretty cool. They actually let you off the tram. Here it is. Here's the Glamour Jam reproduction I've been on. And you can do some photo ops near the Bates Motel, and they redid the Hollywood sign in the back there. So pretty cool. Some props over here. You actually get to get off. So they actually let you get off the tram now, which is pretty cool. And you can go up to the Psycho House and take a picture here next to that famous car from the movie. Yeah, you can get pretty up close and personal to the Bates Motel set and the house in the background. And they have some photo ops over here. They have the Jaws that used to be up in the upper lot just before the studio tour. It's back and it's down here. You can take a picture with Jaws. And then some people waiting for the tram to come back. And then take a picture with King Kong and King Kong's hand over there. With some photo ops.
One more time.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hunt, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Planet, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the Winking Well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Well, it's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no.
Toward a part of the studio where Universal had an attraction called the Dune Glacier Expedition, also known as the Ice Tunnel. It was featured in an episode of The $1 Million Man, as you'll see on your monitors right there. The tram would climb to an imaginary elevation of 12,000 feet. And the only way back to the theme park was through the ice tunnel, where the slightest sound would trigger an avalanche, which the ice did, as you can see there. Now, the ice tunnel is no longer, obviously, but we will be traveling to a place where yes, every year, and the
Alright, well the tour is winding down as we go past these construction fences. But we are nearing the end of the tour, but pretty well done and pretty cool they let you out of the tram as part of the 60th anniversary. And I did like the retro glamour trams they brought back. So here we go, heading back to the end.
Just head to the Universal box office so you can find out how to upgrade today's pass to an annual pass so that you can come back and again and again and again and again. Make sure that you've also downloaded the Universal Studios Hollywood app so you can get up-to-the-minute information, including park hours for the day, wait times, mobile feed or...
Alrighty, well that tour was pretty cool. They added some new things like the earthquake area was redone. They've changed up some of the Back to the Future area to give more context on that. They went through Little Europe again, which they haven't in a while. So all in all, pretty cool 60th anniversary tour. Of course, the coolest thing was you can walk around towards the end and take pictures and see things up close, including the Psycho House. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the 60th anniversary of the studio tour. Please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.